Well, hey family, this is Darlene. Let's talk about some stuff. I do some private label or private branding opportunities with two customers that buy from me on fair.com. And I was like, you know what? This is what I already do. So let me do a video to let others know that this is an opportunity that can be offered to businesses, private labeling. So the video is about private branding for jewelry lines, a strategic growth opportunity. Of course, it's me, Darlene Knight, Jewelry by BDK, presenter. And who is this for? It's for jewelry makers, creatives, and small business owners ready to scale their businesses. And a lot of people are wanting to scale their business, their handmade jewelry business. It could be candles, it could be dolls that people make. It's just like anything that this is not specifically just for jewelry. These private branding opportunities can be offered for just about anything that you create, and they are offered all around the world. Like just about any product that you can think of is offered as a private branding opportunity. For those who want to take advantage of it. The goal: learn how to create, package, and offer private branded jewelry products to retailers, influencers, boutique owners, and everyday hustlers. We all know an everyday hustler. We know an everyday hustler that can take anything you give them, and by the end of the day, they've been done so that, and they are bringing you some money. Okay, so we all know people who are everyday hustlers who are looking for really good products, high quality products that they can sell, and it's just a reality. And then, what is private branding? The definition for private branding, it's also called white labeling, is when your product is sold under another business's brand name. So they buy from you, that business buys from you. And generally, when we sell our items, we brand them. We may have cards, we may have the envelopes, we may have the packaging, and everything is branded with Jewelry by BDK or whatever that business name is when someone buys something from us, right? In this case, we're selling it as a white label or with the opportunity for that business to private brand it, meaning that they will put their branding on our product. That's what they will do, but they're buying from you in bulk. So if they're buying 100 of your ethnic boho bracelets, right? And generally, when they're packaged up, my branding is on the ones that I sent out, right? Not unless what happened. A person asked me, "Hey, Miss Darlene, do you do where I can buy?" They didn't know that it was called white labeling or private branding. They didn't know that at the time. One of them said, "Well, hey, I want to buy from you, but I want to sell it under my brand name. Would that be okay?" So I explained to the person, "Oh yeah, that's called white labeling or private labeling. You are welcome to do that. Just remember that I still own the design. The design belongs to me, but you're welcome to buy the product and brand it under your branding." So that is how those two kind of came about. And this is real common in fashion, beauty, food, and it's really growing now in the jewelry industry. And it's something that, a lot of people, if you're trying to elevate your business, you can really take advantage of this and like really make it grow. And you have to be selling wholesale. So if you're selling wholesale, right, versus retail, so you have 100 pieces that a business wants to buy from you. I want 100 of your pieces and I want to buy them at the private label offering, right? Versus 100 pieces selling them at retail. So now I have to find 100 people to buy 100 pieces, right? Or would I rather one person buy 100 pieces and then offer them the opportunity to brand under their name? I will always take the second choice. I will always go with, yeah, you buy 100, you brand, you have my permission, but not without, some agreements and things. Why offer private branding? New revenue streams. We are all looking for new revenue streams. We're not necessarily looking for passive revenue streams, but we are looking for new revenue streams. We all need some extra money coming in, and we all should be wanting to take advantage of what it is that we have to try to establish new revenue streams, right? Also, bulk or repeat orders. So the bulk or repeat orders is because you're selling to them private labeling or white labeling, and you're saying to them, yep, you can buy this from me and you can put your own branding on it. So when the product does well for them, they have to come back to you to buy that same product, right? Because it's sold, it did well for them. So now they need more. And it helps position you as a go to manufacturer or supplier for that particular product that sells well for them, right? And it also expands your reach beyond your own brand. And that's what we all want to do. We want to expand, we want to grow, we want to, get our product out there the best way that we can. And also, what to offer. You can offer signature pieces in neutral or customizable styles. That is all up to you. You can offer seasonal collections. That's up to you. Personalized packaging like tags, cards, boxes with their branding. So whoever that entity is, or store, or boutique, or museum, or whoever that is buying from you, what makes it even more attractive is because that you can personalize the tags, the cards, the boxes with their branding. So that gives you a leg up or an advantage over other vendors or sellers, right? Because that's like me. I don't do tags, cards, boxes, or anything. I don't customize any of that type of stuff like that. But there are those who customize things. They can customize those things. And not only will they get 100 bracelets or 100 pair of earrings, the packaging comes along with it with their branding information on it. So that makes you even more valuable to them, right? And the pieces should be display ready for the retailers when they get it. The less work is possible. So you're literally selling them a private labeled brand, a private labeled uh, items. They're private, but with their branding on it. So when the retailer receives the package from you, everything is personalized with their tags, their cards, their boxes, or whatever. If you offer that with their name, their business name, maybe their logo or whatever information that they wanted to be included, right? And when they get it, it should be ready for them to put it on the shelf. Who to target? Boutique owners. We talked about that. We always talk about that. Boutique owners, amusement park shops, and people look past amusement parks. They look past museums and cultural institutions, and I don't know why people look past them. Maybe because they believe that they're hard to get into. No place is hard to sell to. No place is hard to sell to if the quality is there and if it matches their what they're all about, what their branding is, what they're selling, what they are all about. If your product communicates what they're communicating, why would they not want what you offer? Why would they not want that? And then also you could always do subscription boxes. That's something that you can put together. You can offer that as white labeling or private labeling. Subscription boxes, you can offer, hey, we have subscription boxes that we offer. We can customize these with your branding and like all that good stuff. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to offer. And also stylists, influencers, or merch based businesses, because people are always looking for high quality, really good products. It's almost like the news, and I think people think the news always has news, which they do, but the weekend news don't always have news. So the weekend journalists are always fishing around and searching around to try to find some type of news. That's why you'll see that many times they're in the field on the weekends covering community events, because they're a skeleton crew during the weekends, not during the weekday. And if you notice, the height of the news, like it's really, well, some of these are like 24 hours, so they always got stuff going on. But like local news, you'll see like with local news, especially on the weekend, they cover like a lot of community events because they always need some type of news. That's like with boutiques and amusement parks, museums, and stylists, influence. They need product. They need stuff. And why not you be the one that provide them with what it is that they need? And then let's go into the setup. What you need. Your top selling or most adoptable designs is what you are going to be pitching to folks. You're going to have a price list with wholesale and private label rates on it. You're also going to provide a simple intake form or questionnaire. You got to ask them questions. You want to fill them out. Hey, let this is the communication that goes on. Branding add-ons like packaging options, color palettes, style variations, and these are things that you communicate with the potential buyer. Because like initially with me, the question was, can I get a lot of the evil eye type bracelets? I just want them in all different colors. Oh, by the way, I would like some in like rainbow. Can you da 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 da? Absolutely, I could do that for you. But that was a conversation that had to be had between me and one of the buyers, and then me and another buyer. So, like I said, I have two people that buy from me like that. Private labeling, that's why I'm doing the video. I'm like, okay, I do this, and maybe somebody else may be interested in doing it. So here I am. Packaging and presentation. How would their branding show up on your product? That's a good question. And that's a conversation between you and the retailer. How would you like this is what I offer, is this acceptable for you? If not, what did you have in mind? Right? And if they say, oh, well, I kind of wanted it to have this, that, or the other, and I did want to have this. Oh, okay, that's customizable. I would be customizing that for you. There is an additional fee that comes with that. So you're not doing anything extra for free. So if you got 100 bracelets, and those 100 bracelets are, let's say, just bracelets that don't have charms. So the person or the retailer, potential customer says, oh, okay, well, I want 100 of those and I want them with a butterfly charm on them. Can you put a butterfly charm on each one of them? And then can you possibly put them in like the little small boxes, right? Now that's customizable because I don't have butterflies on these, nor do I package them in the small boxes. They come in the plastic bags with um, with the information in the inside, right? So you're going to communicate that, but then you're also going to say, okay, that is something that I can do, but remember that's customizable. And then there are extra fees that will go along with that. And then here are those extra fees. So those are things that you want to communicate. Those are branding add-ons. Packaging and presentation. How will their branding show up on your product? We just talked about that. Options would be logo tags because they would more than likely send you their logo, their business name. They might even have jewelry cards. They might have branded boxes. They might have printed pouches, all that type of thing. But the only something that you would need from them is basically their logo. So if they already have jewelry cards and branded boxes and printed pouches and all that kind of stuff, they don't need you to package it up for them. But there are some that don't have all that, and they could just be, maybe just starting, or they just haven't got to that point where they brand this way. So they'll ask you, oh, okay, well, what type of branding can I get, or da 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 da, right? And then that's where you say, hey, well, I can do this, that, or the other, or I don't do any additional. That's a whole conversation that you would have with the potential customer. Invest in professional, consistent packaging. We always want to do that. It can be simple packaging. It does not have to be real extravagant with a box full of confetti and all kind of tissue paper, and that's extra. That's just too much. And then pricing strategy. Here's where a lot of people have a lot of issues with pricing, trying to figure out what to charge, how to charge. I have some ebooks on the Jewelry by BDK website, www.jbbdk.com, and you can go to the under digital products, and I have a couple of books in there that talk about pricing strategy and stuff. So it includes production costs, branding, customization fees. We just talked about that. Bulk order minimums. You do want to have minimums. It does not make sense for somebody to be buying 5 wholesale pieces from you, private labeling. It's like, no, the minimum for this particular bracelet that you're looking at right here, the minimum is 100. You have to buy 100 of those from me in order to take advantage of the private labeling opportunity. It's not 5, it's not 10, it's not 20, it's 100, right? Because remember, they're buying in bulk at wholesale from you. So it has to make sense for you. It just got to make sense. It's like, nope, we ain't doing that. And then also leave room for the client markup, like aim for between 2 and 3 times their retail price. Also, how to pitch private branding. You want to create a branded PDF or slide deck, something like what I'm doing right here. Showcase samples with their branding on it. You want to have their branding. So if you got to lift their logo, if they sent you their logo, if whatever. So if you're pitching to them, let's say you want to pitch to I don't know, like the California African American Museum or something, and you have like these beautiful black dolls that you sell, and they stand up on these real wicked wood stands that you made for them to stand up on, and da da da, right? So you would put something like that together. You would put like a branded PDF or slide deck together with their and show what it would look like as their product, because that's what is going to become their product under their branding. And that is how you're going to sell it to them. Let's see. Use language like exclusive, custom, and ready to sell. Those are trigger words. Exclusive, custom, and ready to sell. Those words excite retailers, especially if it's ready to sell. I don't have to do anything but wait for the box to come, open that box, and it's ready to sell. Include benefits, no inventory headache for them, fully branded, quick turnaround. And then that's what you want to do. There should be no extra anything that these people have to do. They shouldn't have to open the box and start packaging up packaging up things themselves, unless they have their own jewelry cards and boxes and all that type of stuff, and they're going to do that on their end. But when whatever is agreed with you, you want to make sure that you cover whatever it is that you're supposed to do, so that when they get the box, they open the box, you have exceeded beyond what they have expected. Okay. And then also, like real world examples, you can share client case studies or mock-ups. So you can do some mock-ups. And let's say it's a museum store with gemstone history necklaces. You're going to create some gemstone necklaces that are history necklaces, that where you can show and say, okay, well, these are some of the necklaces that I can offer to you, da 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 da, all that good stuff. And also, if it's an influencer who sells spiritual charms, bracelets under their name, they would be sold under their name. So you're just going to create some real world examples, do some mock-ups, some case studies, and stuff like that. Common questions that come along with this. Do I lose ownership? You do not lose ownership. Not at all. You retain design rights unless you agree otherwise, unless you agree to something else, right? And don't be out here giving your design rights away or anything like such, right? They're just buying the product from you to be able to private label it under their brand so that they can sell it. So it's like you're saying, hey, you can buy my stuff, and then go ahead and just, just go ahead and put it under you, just brand it under you, right? But remember, I still own the rights to it. Okay. Can they customize everything? You control what is customizable. That's a conversation that you have with the potential customer. Everything is all on you. What about returns? Define terms clearly in agreement. I don't do returns. I don't do anything like that, because remember, I'm offering private labeling. I'm offering you something that I'm not offering to anybody else. So no, I'm offering you the opportunity, and I'm allowing you to brand my product under you, under your brand. So I don't never do returns or anything. Final tips for success: start with a limited option to avoid overwhelming yourself. That only means don't be out here trying to start with 100 different designs. You can start with 10 designs, 20 designs, 30 designs, whatever it is that you can handle. But remember, when you start pitching to museums and amusement parks and hospital gift shops and influencers and all these people, especially the bigger ones, they buy in bulk. I'm saying 100, but they may want 500 or something. So if you're not ready for that type of stuff, then you want to just go ahead and wait it out and practice on fair.com or something, like getting product together. And if you got a workroom and the space where you're able to continually work on product and work on product and work on product and work on product and work on product, and maybe get into the habit of trying to duplicate some of those things because your goal is to sell wholesale in bulk, or maybe private labeling, or not even private labeling, but selling in bulk. You want to start getting into the habit of producing product like that, right? Test your product, test your packaging with samples, and I think we all kind of do that. Use contracts for every private label partnership. This is very, very important. This is where the communication comes in, where nobody can come back and say, oh, well, I thought. Well, no, you couldn't have thought, because that's not what we talked about. That's why you signed to the contract. That's why we talked about that contract in extent, over and over again. And whatever language is in the contract is the same language that you want to be communicating back and forth verbally before they even sign the contract. So by the time they get to the contract, what you have talked about verbally is familiar in written form. So you want to always do that, reiterate verbally and in writing. Also highlight your turnaround time, consistency, and craftsmanship. You want to always talk about the good stuff like that. Also, ready to offer private branding? Yeah, you're ready. You ready? Checklist. Designs selected. So select the designs you want to do, like 10, 20 different designs. And remember, you're selling in bulk. So if you're selecting 10 designs or 20 designs, you're going to have 100 of this one, 100 of this one, 100 of this one, right? Also, pricing and packaging defined. That's going to be the language in your contract, as well as in your verbal conversation when you're talking to potential customers, right? Pitch deck made. You're going to put your pitch deck together. And remember, the same communication runs throughout everything you put together. Your pitch deck, um, your your price list, anything and everything in your contracts. That conversation is threaded throughout any way that you communicate, okay? And then target outreach list started. So you have to put together a target list. So if you say, like right now today, after listening to this video, ooh, you know what? I think I want to do some private labeling. And then you begin to target your outreach, like which companies would you want to reach out to? Which amusement parks? Would it be the zoo? Would it be SeaWorld? Would it be, I'm just talking these places, come in San Diego. It could be Disney. It could be, like anywhere. And don't think any one of these places is out of your reach, because it's not. It's persistence and consistency that will get us what we want, right? Think about the Proverbs 31 woman. She was a business woman. She saw a field, she bought it, and then she began to plant. That is just like a business. We see a business we might want to do business with, and what we do, we got to pitch to them. But when we pitch to them, we got to have everything ready, from our social media presence to our website, to our letters, to our contracts. Like everything has to be ready to go. You can't go out here pitching and you don't have anything ready for anybody. I mean, you just can't do that stuff. You just got to be ready. And this video is only for people that are, wanting to do that. And there's a lot of people, that are wanting to elevate their businesses to an entirely new level. Not necessarily to get all the money. I don't think anybody trying to get all the money, because you can't get all the money. But how sweet would it be if you can get 2, 3, 4, 5 really good, solid customers that come to you every month to buy from you in bulk? That's a blessing. That is like some of the most beautiful stuff, ever. And it's doable. It's doable, and you can do it if it's something that you want to do. We put in all these hours on a regular job. We give these people 30, 35, 40 years of our life. And then by the time we come up out of there, we don't have nothing left to do anything for ourselves. Not I, said the little woman who sits in the corner quietly minding her business. I'm not coming out like that. I'm not doing that. But that's just me. So that's just me. But anyway, I think I've talked enough. And also, I have put together some sample letters. There's about 20 sample letters. So when and if you want to begin pitching to any one of these entities, or you want to set up your fair.com store, and set your fair.com store up. If you can get on fair, try to apply for fair and let that be your starting place for wholesale, because all these places that I promise you that you want to target, they shop off of fair. So if you set up your fair marketplace, your store on fair and everything, you can also present that in the letters when you send them out, like when you pitch to them, and it's like, oh, okay, well, they on fair already, right? So that's something you want to do, and there's a link in the description down there that you can grab that, click on over it if you want to do that. Also, click on over to the website www.jbbdk.com, and you can purchase that sample letters guide that's available over there. And you can take the letters as sample letters and not only just use them for what we're talking about here, you can use them for if you got a boutique in mind. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know how to approach them. I don't know what to say. Da 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 da. These letters will help you out. So you can take the letters, you can copy the letters, you can revise the letters, whatever you want to do, but they are there for you to use. Okay. And guess what? We'll talk.